Hey guys, it's Jeremy, My Way MFG. I want to start this video out doing a little talking about what this is here behind me. A lot of you that's been watching all along already know, but there's been several new subscribers show up over the last couple videos that may not really understand what we're working on here. So anyway, this looks like a Model T truck, but really it's not. Let me tell you what this thing is. Years ago, my great-grandpa had a farm, and he built this cart to pull behind a tractor. It was made with a Chevy rear end, probably late 30s, torque tube rear end. He built a frame under there and put this wooden box on it. It had a tongue on it. He pulled behind his tractor. Used it for just a service cart, you know. Anyway, I inherited this thing a while back and didn't know what I was going to do with it. But one day looking at it, I thought, that kind of looks like the back end of an old Model T truck, you know, the old wooden boxes they put on them. So I thought, well, I'll just build a Model T truck. The floor and cab on this is made out of wood, which a lot of them were. Running boards are wood. I'm trying to make this without spending any money. Most of this has come out of a scrap pile, or I've gave very little for it. I found 4 Model T fenders that I gave $20 a piece for, I think. Maybe it was $25. I think I give $100 for all 4 fenders. And those are 35 Ford front wheels. I know that because they're 16-inch. Those were the only 16-inch spoke wheels on a 35. A 36, they went to a steel solid wheel. If you get back to 34, they were, I believe, 17-inch. So Chevy rear end, homemade frame rails. That's like 3/16, 2x3 square tubing. The steering column, a friend of mine gave to me. That's out of a 4041 Ford pickup. Shifter, pedals, that's all homemade. The sheet metal up here, the sides of those hoods were made out of furnace cabinets. The top was an old piece of 18 gauge that was laying around. That radiator shell's just made up out of furnace tin and round rod. That's a condenser of an air conditioner in there for a radiator. The front axle is 41 to 48 Ford. I got that at a junkyard for $50. And the headlights are 35, 36 Chevy. The roof skin is a skin off an A.O. Smith water heater, and that visor is another furnace door. The windows are out of a camper. I think this hood ornament's an old Ford horn button. I've still got to get a nut on the bottom of it to hold it on there. Crank is a piece of copper tubing with some sweat elbows. Tie rods are 1/2-inch black pipe. The outer tie rods come off of a 2015 Ford that I took off my truck that were still good. And then there's some steering knuckles in there that came off of a Nissan truck that a friend gave to me. But anyway, I was building this thing for a yard ornament. Just going to set it out the front corner of the property, you know, and plant flowers around it and just look at it. And then it started turning out to look real cool, and I thought, well, let's see if we can get it to run and drive, right? That's when I came up from a friend, this Onan motor. And then that's an Onan CK series. I think it was 1960. I ran the numbers on it. And then I got a Muncie 3-speed transmission that I paid $20 for. And that's a 74 or newer transmission, but I don't know what it was out of. And then all of these mounts and brackets and stuff have been made out of a floor jack I took apart because it had good heavy metal. And then I had some 2-inch angle iron. So occasionally you'll see me making something and think, well, that could have been better if you just went to the store and bought this or bought that. The whole idea behind this, I'm trying to make it completely out of scrap and just stuff I have laying around. So I'm doing this trying to spend really no money or very little money. Every once in a while you gotta buy something. But anyway, for all you guys that just showed up, that's what this is. And by spring, I want to drive it out of here. Here's some pictures that'll take us back through the build. Working on the Model T today, and I haven't been to town to buy any parts for this, so I thought I'll just try to work with what I got and see where I end up today. And I'm going to be working on the clutch pedal assembly for a little while until we can get to town and get the rest of the stuff we need to finish the motor and transmission mock-up. But anyway, there's 5 new guys here, 5 new subscribers from the last video. If you guys are watching, thanks for joining. My uncle shows up the other day and he's got this piece he found somewhere. And he said, I thought that might be useful for you. And it is. I got to looking at it and I thought this would be a real good pivot point for clutch pedals and gas pedals and stuff. It had this on the end on both sides. I've cut this side off and I'll show you why. I'm also going to cut this one off. Then I'm going to re-weld them up like this. It's just going to work better in my application. But here's what I came up with. All right, guys, here's what I've did so far. I've cut a slot in the floor right here. And I've got this sitting here. And that's going to be the clutch pedal. We'll get underneath and build some pivot points off the frame rail and get it going the right direction here at some point. But for right now, I'm just going to try to get the clutch pedal in, the gas pedal in, with the clutch coming off this one, and we'll cut another slot, put the gas pedal over here, and that should leave us room in between for a brake pedal, I'm thinking. I put the gas pedal on the outside of this one, and we got all this area here to center up a brake pedal at some point, but I'm not exactly sure how the brake pedal is going to work yet. I've got the rest of this kind of worked out in my mind somewhat, but the brake I don't yet. I haven't thought about it much, but we'll get there. I was looking for something to make pads for the pedals with. I got all this thick stuff left over from the floor jack, but I need to save that for mounting brackets and substantial stuff where I need the thick stuff. So I found this old piece of car frame out in the scrap pile. I think these were stamped out of what, 11 gauge or something? But anyway, they got some good areas on them where I'm able to cut out pieces. If you look at pictures of a Model T, the pedal pads were kind of diamond shaped, except they didn't come to points. So I'm going to cut this out, round the edges while I'm doing so, and make up one of these and see how it looks. If it works out good, I'll trace out a couple more. You know, I read somewhere Nikola Tesla once said that he does all of his testing in his mind. He runs through all the research and development, and by the time he gets ready to build something, he's already tested it 1,000 times and knows exactly how it's going to work before ever touching anything. And I thought, you know, I'm a lot like Nikola Tesla, you know. So I sat in my chair in my living room and I worked out exactly how this clutch pedal mechanism was going to work, where all the pivot points had to be. Knew exactly what I was going to do, just like Nikola Tesla would do. And then I walked out in the garage this morning, and when I actually seen it, nothing I had thought about was going to work. Guess that's the difference between me and Nikola Tesla. So anyway, I'm on plan B this morning, and let me show you why my original idea didn't work and what I'm up to here and where I've got. I had thought all these pivot points for the clutch and gas pedal. Like I said, I haven't thought about the brake much yet. Might get one of them one-piece master cylinders, you know, off an old car where the pedal assembly's made onto it. Anyway, if I can find one of them, I'll see if it'll just fit in between here. But anyway, all these pivot points were going to be underneath the floor and further ahead. And then I was basically just going to have right here in the corner a flat stock like this going down, and then the pivot point underneath. That's the way I had it all worked out. Anyway, two problems. One, my clutch pedal rod would have come out here where it would show. It would have been sticking through right here. Another thing, for my pivot points to go underneath, the wishbone assembly is right in the way. And there's only like 1.5 inches of travel there. So I really couldn't go in between that, you know. So anyway, I decided, well, I'll just put the pivot points above the floor, and that eliminates both of those problems. As far as the height on this and the swing and everything, I've just been guessing on it. I know I've got enough swing here for the clutch to disengage. Surely I can get enough movement out of that to disengage the clutch. As far as the height goes, that is a little taller than what I would like it. I've got to lift my foot off the floor to get my foot on it. But I'm going to leave it long for now because I don't know how hard that's going to be to push, and I might need that leverage. If I make it too short, it might get harder to push. So I think until I actually have all this together, I'm just going to leave that long. The pedal pad looks pretty good. I mean, kind of Model T-ish, I think. Looks like something Henry would have done. They were diamond shaped and they had a bit of a curve to them, so I kind of bent a little curve on there. But anyway, this is operating good. And I did trace out another one. We'll cut it out, use it for the gas pedal. Got it traced out there. So anyway, I think I'll get the other pedal made up, the slot cut in the floor, and then just mount this whole mechanism, and then crawl underneath and see what I've got to do to actually get back to where I need to be, you know. Lots of round rod, I'm thinking.
There's the gas pedal in there. I put it much lower so my foot would reach it without having to lift my foot off the floor. If the clutch pedal can be lower, I'll make it lower at some point. That gas pedal works okay. That's going to be fine like that. The only thing is, when you push it with that pedal pad fixed to the bar, it feels awkward when it goes forward. It needs to be able to rotate on the top of there. Maybe like a couple tabs welded on it with a bolt going through and like a little clock spring or something on there, so that, because right now, as this goes forward, the pad goes forward like that, and it just feels awkward on your foot. It would work, just wouldn't be very comfortable. This whole thing's not going to be comfortable anyway. But I wonder how much work it would take me. Maybe I ought to just make a pivot point on that and just see if I like it better, you know? Now guys, I just tried this in here. That does feel a lot better, but it wants to go in the vertical position. I need to weld a stopper right here to keep my pedal from falling too far forward. And I'm just going to take a piece of rod rod, weld right there, and we'll try it again. Does feel better though. All right guys, got that pivot point made, and I welded a stopper right there so that can only go that far. We still need to get a spring on here to hold it in this position. And then as your foot presses it, it would go like that. I'd like for it to set like that at rest. And I think Menards has like these clock springs, like a drawer of them, universal deals. I'll look next time I'm there. I imagine this clutch will get the same treatment, but I'm gonna leave it like it is for now because I don't know what length I want that. I'm hoping I can cut about 4 inches off of that. I just don't know at the moment. But anyway, let's put this back in here and try it. Hey, that feels pretty good. I can live with that.
Yeah, I like that. Might have to get a rubber stopper on there so it don't make that banging noise, but it feels pretty good. Anyway, get a spring on there so it don't fall forward like that. And yeah, I think we're in good shape. I don't know if I'll be able to show you what it looks like from underneath or not. I'll crawl under there and try it. See if we've got enough light to make it work, you know. All right, here's the two rods sticking through the floor. The one for the clutch pedal is right up against a frame rail, which is good, because I imagine this is going to be pulling on a cable. I got a garage door cable around here I think would work good. Picture everything strung through here tight, like an emergency brake cable on a car. We'll have a pulley mounted up here in front of that. The cable loops around, comes back to this, and then it pulls it that way. I think that's how that's going to work. Just a bare cable strung through like those, you know, those clevis pulleys, you know. This one here, for the throttle, we should be able to just order or buy a long, like, throttle cable somewhere. Put a holder back here to hold the cable sheath, and then that'll just pull it. Rubber stoppers on here. But yeah, I think that's a good starting point with that. Anyway, that other pulley that I bought through Amazon that was supposed to be coming so I could finish with this motor mock-up, or at least get closer with it. It said it was shipped on the 19th, expect before the 25th. I finally contacted them and I said, you know, I never have got this. The next day I looked at my messages and they said a refund's on the way. They never did explain why. But anyway, I'd see if I get that refund. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to Tractor Supply. I'd bought the last one they had when I got the last one. I needed 2 of them. See if maybe they've restocked their shelves yet. If not, maybe Farm King would have one. I could look there. If neither of that works out, I guess I try to order one again from maybe a different place, you know. You guys watch all the videos might have saw I bought this new air compressor the other day. And I just set it inside the door. I didn't have any wire back here for it. I did run wire the other day. I've got 2 12-2s coming through there. One of them's going to go to the air compressor, and the other one it's gonna get split off with a couple 20-amp breakers and run some wall outlets in here. But I need more parts for that. I just keep running out of parts. But I did get that strung clear up to the breaker box, and that's like 80 feet, 90 feet. I had 4 walls to drill through. It was quite a thing. And after I got the first one back, I pulled the second one. I was going to run bigger wire back here, like maybe 6 or something like that for a 60 amp service. But you know, I've been running all these ceiling lights, the welder, plus this heater, all off 120 amp breaker on 110 wire, 1 strand of 10 wire, and I've never popped it. And really, I don't ever run much more than that. So I thought, I'll keep the ceiling lights on that wire they're on now. I got a separate one back here for the air compressor, and then I'd have 40 amps run back here for my wall outlets. Hell, if I'm making it now, I'll make it forever, you know, with that. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. So that being said, I've got all the wire back here. I just got to get the ends for it and get it hooked up. So anyway, I'm gonna drink this cup of coffee, go in the house, because my wife just said, go uptown, give me a gallon of milk. And when I went up to get my wallet, she was frying chicken. That's what the milk was for. And anyway, I like her fried chicken. Plus my daughter's up there. I'll talk to her for a while, see what she did last night. 'Cause this is New Year's Day. She might have done something exciting. I know I did. I sat in a chair and watched TV. Anyway, guys, going in for now. I'll probably do another day of filming out here before I post this, so we'll see where we get. I had said a little earlier that I'd ordered that other pulley. I needed 2 of these. This is the only one they had. I ordered one from the internet. Well, it never came. So I contacted them, and they said expect a refund. Never told me why, just said they were sending my money back. When I had bought this pulley, I was needing a 6.5 inch. I wanted the same diameter as these. They didn't have a 6.5 inch. It was going to give me a little bit of an underdrive between the motor and transmission, or overdrive. I'm sorry, overdrive. Isn't that right? Yeah. But it wasn't going to be much. I figured it would work. Anyway, I went to town today looking for another one of these. I thought I'll just try all the stores. I couldn't find one. But I did find 2 6.5 inches, which were what I wanted to start with. Those are the right size. And I was able to get 2 of them because I want to double them up like this and get them back here. I didn't want to start welding anything until I had both of them because I've got this center hub I cut out of a clutch disc. I wasn't sure how it was all going to work out to mount my pulleys. I mean, was I going to have to do some kind of a deal like this or what? And what I'd really hoped was this would just go between them. So getting this here today, I've got a perfect fit there. And then if I bring this one up on the other side, that works out perfect. I can't even move that in there. So what I think I'll do, now that I've got all this here and it works out so well, I've got a gap in between there so this flange won't weld to that pulley. However, yeah, I guess it don't weld to that one either. I thought it was set flat in one of them, but that's okay because I should be able to center that up in there, get a good bead all the way around this side, all the way around this side, and then I can probably put some tacks along here. By the time I do all that, that ought to be pretty good. It really sets right in the middle. I can't imagine it being too much better than that. So anyway, I think we got everything we need here to do that. And I'm going to have to get some good welds there. So I'm going to have to really be on my game. But we'll get this centered up in one of these. Get a couple tacks on it. We'll put it on the shaft and we'll roll it around and have a guide wire so we can see how it's running true, you know. And then after we think we got it right, we should just be able to weld the other one to it. So anyway, got stuff here to do that now. And as soon as this is all made up, I'll be able to position all this and finish all my mounts. I'll know where all my locations are then. So, anyway, I think I'm going to end this video here for today. Thanks for watching, guys. All last night in the back of my head, I kept thinking about a clothespin. You know, the spring in a clothespin? Wonder if I could make that work on that pedal. Anyway, I'm going to have to find a clothespin and see what I can do there. Who knows, right? Works in my mind, but will it work in real life? It would if it were Nikola Tesla. But me? We'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for following along. Please like, comment, share. That stuff helps my channel grow, they tell me. And we'll catch you on the next one. Later, guys.